out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game. 5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a new river thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark.
How's everybody doing?
He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a
Elmassian joins us coming up at 6:30. The coach.
From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold.
Find out who the next Michigan coach is going to be, in his opinion.
Worth its weight in gold.
Will Stewart from Tech Sideline, Mike Ashley, his open mic, and hopefully Jen. She's traveling today. She's going to go see Holly down in Orlando. Hit us up on the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. We'd love to hear from you. Also on the Professional Door Incorporated text line at 543-910-788. Hey, we're 4 months in, and I finally remembered. I got the number. Finally. How's everybody doing this morning? Good morning, Paulie. How are you, Paul? Steven. What's up, Prometheus? You fire dweller, you. What's up, Steve? Where's our little Opal? Welcome everyone across the great land of the United States and beyond. Hit us up, subscribe, like, and share our channel. We would really appreciate it. I don't know if I'm in the zone every day and every night, but it is Friday. Have to travel today to well, that was abrupt. I have to travel down to Wise. My son's car died, so I have to get him back today. Fortunately, I think there's some light snow falling now. I got up a little after 4, and there was nothing. I think the mountain helped split it. I think we're supposed to get a few hours of some light snow, so I don't think the weather is going to be too bad, even though every school is closed. I think some are 2 hours late toward the southwest, but most of ours here are all closed. Hey, Opal. There she is. Balboa Creed is, I won't say progressing, but the abscess is getting to the point to where I believe today is the day that I will get in there and drain it. I'll keep everybody posted. Thank you for asking. Oh, great. They didn't even treat the roads in Giles. Well, it's never any kind of twisty or kind of hilly roads or going in Giles, right? And I don't know if that pre-treatment does anybody any good anyway. They put that stuff down the road. I'm not sure anything they do on the road helps. All I know is when you drive over the dry salt, you come back and your vehicle's completely covered. Yet I still see people trying to wash their car in the winter. Just leave it alone. Speaking of vehicles, all right. So we had a segment when I was doing the radio show and having to drive here from Reiner into Fairlawn to the radio station. And the segment was called Bad Driving Guy. And essentially we all related to bad driving guy, whether it's somebody going 30 miles below the speed limit in front of you, somebody who doesn't use their signal, the guy who likes to speed up when you try to just pass them. You're not even thinking about it. Oh, okay, I guess I'll just get around him, and then they speed up, or the guy who rides your ass, whatever it may be. Bad driving guy. But I've noticed over this past week in particular, there's another bad driving guy that I don't know if we've ever quantified before. And somebody needs to explain it to me. Because I try not to have road rage. You don't want to be angry when you're behind the wheel. You got to go into work. I spent the morning with y'all, and it's great. You come out, you're in a good mood. But anybody who's in Reiner and you're out, not Route 8 in particular, but I live right off of Fairview Church in behind the schools here in Schoolhouse Drive. And, you go down Fairview Church. I like to take a left and go through the scenic route, through all the farmland. I like seeing the cattle. It's how I grew up. It's very soothing. It's very relaxing. You get kind of a zen moment. You look in the field. And then you see the alpha bull who's standing at the fence, because there's always an alpha bull, right? Just like there used to be at our farm. Young bulls get in the field. Who's going to take care of the flock? Who's going to make the heifers his very own? Well, whoever wins. Well, you can tell whoever the winner is because he just stands there at the fence line looking at you like, this is my field. Why don't you just keep on driving? So it's kind of a zen thing for me. So I like going that route. But there's a lot of turns. There's a lot of blind spots. There's a lot of coming in, Fairview Church. Yeah, and it happens too on Meadow Creek, Prometheus. It does. And inevitably you have bad driving guy who's over the center line, coming around a turn that you can't see anything on the other side of the road. And I'm not talking like riding the line, because you're going this way, they're coming that way, but they're over and it's almost, they're straddling it almost. And then they have to veer. I'm not, why are you hugging the damn middle of the line, especially in a blind spot? I'm driving a truck, you're driving a truck. And I had a couple of near misses this week just because some dumbass is sitting there riding over the line. Like, I don't know what you're trying to do, but I see it all the time. You have a lane, I have a lane, and I understand you don't want to ride the outside of the lane. But when you have a blind spot, and if you do find yourself wanting to hug the middle line, you probably need to go ahead and get into your lane and use some common sense. So inevitably, I'm hitting the horn and I'm looking at him like, what are you doing? What are we doing? And I understand if you're on a road and you can see and you like to kind of pretend like you're a road racer. and you want to kind of let the turn take you out of the natural. Like you might want to ride a little closer to the line. You got a turn coming. You just let it naturally drift. But that's when you look and you see nobody's coming. There's nobody behind you. Not when you have roads you can't see and you might be meeting an oncoming vehicle like me. And then inevitably they get this look on their face. Sometimes they'll be over the line and they'll be on their damn phones. Stay on your side of the road, especially if you're on a road. By the way, a blind spot's called a blind spot for a reason. It means you can't see. Hence the name. Crazy how it was named something that's very accurate. Sorry, I just had to vent. And then yesterday morning, guy in a truck, and usually dudes in trucks, I'm not trying to stereotype, but when you have young people behind the wheel, you can understand if they're doing stupid stuff on the road. Guy in truck guy, you would think would have enough common sense, right? He's in a truck. He's in a big truck. No, big old GMC, whatever it was, Durango. And he's not just over the line. He's well over the line. And here I am. I literally had to stop, and he has to quickly. It's just, I don't know. Sorry. It helps me to vent. But you've all experienced it, right? You know what I'm talking about. Bad driving guy. It's not just unique to me. Brian Oliver, us UPS drivers are taught to blow the horn coming into a blind curve just in case. Yes, you know what? That does happen. I pass your trucks, and I will hear the horn, and I'll know that, yeah, I have heard that. Common sense, people have that. Sure more does it. Yeah, self-awareness, there it is. There's the two-word phrase that nobody seems to have. Thanks for asking, TLB. I believe later today the abscess will be at the point to where I'm going to have to go in and do that deed. Yeah, thanks for asking. I have to go get my son from Wise, and then I think when I get back, I'll get him to help. I think today's the day, and I'm not looking forward to it. I hate it. It's painful. He'll let me know how painful it is, but it's to that point now, I believe, getting there. Hey, Joseph, what's going on? Most people are on their phone. Yeah, I've had this exactly. They look so surprised because I'm on the horn. I see him coming. I'm just, Nick saying you may need a full bodysuit while lancing Creed. Yeah, I do. I do. I have some gloves because I had to do this about 1.5 years ago. It's on his left shoulder. The last one was on the right shoulder. And I always refresh myself, by the way. I looked it all up and I read about it. I mean, and I know what to do, but I want to make sure that everything is the way it should be. So, yeah, I have that, and I'll put on like a thicker jacket because you're exactly right. I mean, he's going to be all after me, man. And I don't take it personally. He's gonna be biting me like I'm a critter out there in the wild, trying to take care of his daily hunt quota for the day. He's going to have those claws, and it's going to be bad. And he's going to make noises that I hate to think about hearing, but it has to be done. Yeah. Opal says, I rode with someone who kept doing that. I asked him why he was riding in the middle of the road. He said, well, I pay taxes for both sides of the road. Yeah, you're also going to be paying for your own vehicle when you hit somebody and then their vehicle to get it fixed. And if you hurt them, you might end up in a lot more trouble than that. That makes 0 sense, by the way. What a horrible explanation. So anyway, thanks for letting me in, and thanks for checking on Balboa Creed. I will update you on Monday. Hopefully it goes well. I do not look forward to it, but things have to be done. Many people speculated that they hoped Jarrett Ferguson would be back as a strength coach. Well, that's not happening. Hey, Tina, good morning. How are you? James Franklin's bringing the Penn State strength coach, Chuck Losey. So that means Jarrett Ferguson will be out. Jarrett did a heck of a job, and he was building a great reputation. You know, people, and I told you this on the show, most of the time coaches that's the one position they will not compromise on their new staff. If they have somebody they're comfortable with, that's who's going to be the new strength coach. I was excited for Jarrett because, you know, he loves Virginia Tech and he knows what it's supposed to look like, you know. He learned from Mike Gentry. And I always look at the reaction. It was about 50-50 Penn State fans. Some were glad he's gone, didn't like the way the team looked the last couple of years. Some were saying it's a huge loss. So who knows? All I know is it's somebody that Franklin is comfortable with. And that's basically what the entire staff has been so far. Being familiar and comfort level. So there we go. I hate that for Jared. I really do. I hate that. Wait a minute. The guy you were riding with is a deputy sheriff, Opal? That's even more troubling. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Yeah, well, we haven't done it yet, but it's more acute today. If he were down here, I would try to show you, but he's got a comfortable spot upstairs, and that's when I know he's not feeling good because he stays there most of the morning. Hey, really, Joseph? Awesome. We'll update everybody on Balboa Creed over the weekend, on Monday. Hopefully things go well. It's not a pleasant thing, but it's necessary. And then if I do it right and get it all drained out, he'll be, you know, middle of next week, he'll be back up to normal terror threat wilderness level. UVA was is a very nice school. Wasn't counting on making that drive today, but you do what you have to do. He's having a great time. He's having a great time down at Wise. He's really enjoying it. Beautiful campus. The sports facilities, I've checked them all out. And you know this, Joseph. They've updated. Maybe they've updated them since you were there. They're very nice. Very, very nice. Pretty good basketball team. They play Division II level. Football team struggled. Beautiful stadium, baseball stadium, softball, the field. They all have synthetic fields because they have to. They're up in the mountains and they get so much weather. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, he could be, but I don't know if he'll take that or not. He might because he loves tech, but if you're the guy and you're going to come in and work with somebody you have no idea how they work, I think that's pretty tough. I think that puts, especially if you're a strength coach, and you are a creature of your own habit and your own creation, I think that's pretty tough. Pretty tough ask for Jared. Yeah. He is a good dude. Yeah, I've met him a couple times. Jared's a good dude. Salt of the earth kind of guy. And a badass, too. Hey, Rodney, good morning. How are you, man? Yeah. Coach Elmassian is going to join us here at about 6:30. Because I don't think we can ever have too much of Coach Elmassian. Coach Elmo, talk about Michigan. It's a Michigan thing. And now, of course, shocker, ESPN has decided to turn it into a racial thing. And now they're saying that it's all mental health, that he was suffering from mental health. And this is exactly what Dwight said yesterday was going to happen. I almost texted Dwight, but I know he's disgusted. Abusing people who actually have mental health issues to try to get this guy, and everybody's running excuses. Adam Schefter for ESPN because he's a Michigan guy. Well, there was an agenda out to get him. He said this with a straight face. No. This guy actively screwed around on his wife and his kids, got caught, tried to extort her, gave her a bonus, a big raise to keep her quiet. She found out he was messing with other women, so she blew the whistle. Then he went to her house. That's been confirmed by police. Threatened her, had her at knife point. And everyone's trying to make him the victim. It's unbelievable. And it really pisses me off because my son went through, my youngest son, and he tells his story, things that he had pent up. And I'll just tell you now, last March, on the very day we were ready to introduce our new basketball coach at the press conference, Zach Chu, I'm sitting on the stage about 20 minutes before the event. My son had been having he'd been having some issues. He's a straight A student, has his group of friends, popular, never had any inclination. I get a call from the police and they say, hey, we just found your son. What are you talking about? Yeah, he was sitting on the side of Meadow Creek Road. He had tried to run his car. And you know how steep those cliffs are off the road. He decided last second not to do it, swerved, hit a tree. He's sitting on the ground beside his car. Had the wherewithal to call 911. And they took him to Carilion. And I got this call as I'm getting ready to go up and introduce everybody who showed up at the Dedman Center for the new coach. And I'm sitting here going, what in the holy hell am I going to do? They assured me that he was okay. So I got up, did my spiel, did the introduction, had to. Just snuck out at that point, just kind of slipped off the stage. Saw my deputy AD, and I said, I got to go. I got a bad issue here. Stayed in Carilion for a couple of days and nights. My son was assessed, and he was a risk. So then, of course, they transport him down to the facility in Roanoke. And I'll never forget the feeling I had when they're putting him in the ambulance and they have him, and he looks at me and as the door shutting, he gives me a thumbs up and I just collapsed. I just collapsed. The nurses all huddled around me and helped me. And he had to stay there a week, go through the doctors, get on meds for a while, and you never saw it coming. So this is something that I've dealt with, and many of you have dealt with this as parents, your family. So I know I talk about him a lot, but him being at Wise and hearing how he's doing now is nothing short of a miracle. So I see all these assholes trying to act like that Sharon Moore was dealing with some mental problems trying to get him out of this. When you know all the rules and you learn so much about it in a short amount of time, all I did was study up on mental health awareness. I know a lot about it. We do a great job, Chad Hyatt and our medical crew down at Radford. We have a whole department now, and I see kids struggling. You know what it looks like, or you don't know what it looks like because it just happens. I blame myself for 4 or 5 months because what did I not do as a parent? There are no rules for people who have mental health issues or emotional problems that lead them to decisions that my son made. And thank God he made a counter decision at the very end. So when I see these media, just horrible people now trying to use that and treat it casually like, oh, this is just something that developed in this whole thing. This guy made conscious decision to ruin his life. He was arrogant. He was power, just completely just running around because he's the head coach of Michigan football. He had got away being the central part of the cheating scandal for Jim Harbaugh. If you look it up, he was right there with all the sign stealing, still got bumped up as the head coach. Remember the crap that they pulled at the end of the Ohio State game? When they tried to go out there and they wouldn't leave the field, what they were trying to do, protect the M or whatever. And Ryan Day said, get off the field. Leave my guys alone. 12 days later, he's been in jail now 2 days. And now I see all these people trying to say, oh, clearly he had mental health issues. Nobody ever talked about him before. How convenient it is to throw it in now when people are trying to use that and what he looks like as a reason as to why he's having these issues instead of his own decisions and his own responsibility toward those decisions. No, we don't want that to be part of this. No. Can't be that. Can't be that he just made a conscious decision. It has to be these other things. It has to be other people's fault. When you truly have someone that's going through something in mental health, it's nobody's fault. Nobody's fault, especially the person who's dealing with it. So that story has taken a twist, and it's exactly what Dwight said. Dwight helped me a lot going through my situation with my son. But it's exactly what he said and why he gets upset. He's a therapist. He deals with it all the time. All he's done is dedicate his life to helping people. And he said it yesterday. He goes, you watch. This is exactly what's going to happen. And as the day progressed, this is all you saw. This is all you saw. And I know Dwight is disgusted because he understands what it looks like and what's real and then what's fabricated by this horrible-ass media that we have today, that all they want to do is get across their agenda. They don't care about any truth. There's no effort whatsoever for any truth in anything that's reported. In the access news media, in the sports media, none of it's real, especially anything that shows up on social media. Hopefully you walk away from this show thinking stuff is real. I may not always be right, and we may not always agree. That's great. I never claim to always be right. I don't try to be first with a story. I don't give a damn about that. But hopefully you'll understand that I'm trying to bring you truth. But anyway, I didn't plan on this morning. My apologies. My apologies. Coming up a little later on, Will Stewart will join us from Tech Sideline. Mike Ashley, the open mic, and Jen, the Gamecock girl. Joining us now on the program from his luxury abode, Coach Phil Elmassian. What's up, Coach? Good morning.
Rick, I tell you, it's just when you think news would be back to whatever called normal or a normal football day, it just gets worse.
It just gets worse. It just gets worse. It does. Well, let's don't talk about Sharon Moore as much, Coach, because it's obvious that he pre-planned everything that he did. He got caught. Now people are trying to switch this as he's a victim. He's not a victim in any way, shape, or form. His family are victims. His children's going to be victims for the rest of their lives, right? That's it's not even secondary effect. That's the major effect, right? His wife and his children. Yeah. But when you look at it this late in the game, the Michigan job, it's a blue blood program. You hear all these names being thrown out. What are they going to do now? How do you see this playing out at Michigan?
Well, the guy, outside of the circumstances that they have an opening now, and the reasons behind it are what they are. That was as selfish a decision as anyone could ever make, with the responsibility he has for 120 players, all of coaches' families, most importantly, his own family. Just caught the tail end of your heartbreaking story. But, just power and money, all of a sudden, as this money starts escalating, you give anybody time, money, and a car, you got big problems. I don't care who it is.
You're right. Right.
And you may not be driving the car yourself. You may have enough money for have somebody to drive it for you, a la the President of the United States, a la Bill Clinton.
Right.
It's called power. I'm no psychiatrist, psychologist, but I know enough to, when you get into that. Mel Tucker was a great friend of mine. We worked together at LSU, the Michigan State head football coach.
Right.
We were very close professionally. When he was a D coordinator at Jacksonville Jaguars, he called me up. He goes, "We're the worst tackling football team in the country. You're the best tackling teaching coach I've ever been around. Can you come down and give a clinic to our staff on tackling?" I go, "Mel, I'm going to teach Jack Del Rio about tackling and the NFL." I said, "No." He goes, "Oh, no, Phil, we have to have you down. I'm going to pay you. You get a pretty good check." I said, "I'm coming." Okay. So I went down, gave him a clinic, and I'm watching their tape the night before, and they had one free safety. I said, "Don't let the FBI look at this tape because they will charge this guy for throwing a game." They were the worst tackling football team I had seen in an awful long time. But my point being is we were that professionally close. And when he got the Michigan State job, I was ecstatic. My brother's a Michigan State grad. He's an anesthesiologist living in East Lansing. And I told him, I said, "You got the right guy." And then he has that bang season. And then the seasons were just started to diminish. What he did, the decision he made, it's not good. And when you're losing football, you just give them a reason. Just give them a reason. When you're losing with the money and the NIL money, just give them a reason. And boy, did the coach from Michigan ever give him a reason.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
You talk about, and Mel Tucker ended up suing the university, and I don't even know how that lawsuit went. I don't even think he won it.
I don't think he did, but it kind of went away, didn't it? Yeah.
So that's my point. All these, as you talked about, I'm trying to keep up with it a little bit, but as you well know, Rick, you've been in the business. Also, what you hear, 80% of what you hear is not true.
Correct. At least
it is not. 80% of what you read is not true.
Absolutely.
I don't care what facets of life. I read the sports page. Andy Bitter did a wonderful. He did a sit down with me, and we were talking about my career, and he ended up posting it for Tech Sidelines, and it was 100% accurate of exactly the conversation we had, and that's the first time I think that's ever happened.
That's good.
It really was. It was the accuracy on the conversation was unbelievable. This guy, when it's all said and done, if these people that are calling him a victim, well, why isn't he suing for his job?
Right. And I'm sure he will. I'm sure all this stuff will come out.
Oh, I don't know if he's going to have a choice with that.
He may not.
He's in jail.
That's true. There's no denying what he did.
This is beyond football. This goes way beyond football, And now, what are their choices? Well, the guy, I talked to Todd Grantham for a little bit because, anybody that's looking for a job knows, but through his agent, the agents don't get you jobs, but they know, particularly if they're connected, They know who's getting jobs.
Yes. And
can fill you in and help you out that way. The guy that they would love to have is the guy that's at Penn State.
I know. And you know what? We found out, Coach. Penn State got widely criticized because they couldn't hire anybody, right? Well, this has apparently been known for the last 2 or 3 weeks that this was going to come down. Like people were anticipating, agents knew that, well, there's going to be a change at Michigan. Grantham's told me back early November, he goes, "I'm hearing some rumblings around Michigan that there's some stuff going on." Because I'm not sure what it is, but watch out for that job. And sure enough, so that Campbell did indeed, he was their target all along, their main target. Now, I don't know whether this is true, right? But that they wanted to make sure that he was clear of Michigan. And then when he realized that's not something he wanted to do, then he decided to take that offer. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
Well, 40 years of doing this business, and I've been with a couple of programs, one in particular, that the head coach couldn't spell discipline if he spotted them all the vowels. He couldn't spell the word. And it was horrendous. It was embarrassing. I'm not even going to go into the story behind. I got fired there because I publicly, with the AD, said, this guy's, you have no discipline here. I'm not even going to go into the story. Not worth it. I know when I see disciplined teams and undisciplined teams. I've been a part of many disciplined, accountable, the word sounds, accountable football teams.
Sure.
Because of their head coaches and the leadership from above. And when I watched Michigan, I called my brother, being a Michigan State grad, and there is a legitimate hate between those two schools.
Absolutely.
It's not Virginia Tech. This is not even close.
Yeah.
Okay. So I called my brother and I said, Ken, because when they hired Pat Fitzgerald, I went, bingo. That, to me, the two best hires, I think Franklin was an outstanding hire for Virginia Tech, but the two best hires I've seen throughout the country were Pat Fitzgerald at Michigan State and Penn State, the gentleman at Iowa State. Those are the two best hires, I think, my opinion. And I told him, I said, Ken, watching the Ohio State game the last 2 years, and having watched Michigan in a couple of games throughout the season, I said, that's an undisciplined football team. It's exactly what I said. Exactly what I told them. I said, I don't know if they listen, I visited there when Bo Schembechler was the head coach. I knew people on that staff at Michigan when Lloyd Carr. I know Lloyd Carr. And Michigan, when you lose a kid to Michigan, they didn't cheat. They got good, and they got their football teams. Wisconsin-Michigan game, we had 2 Big Ten losses in 2 years, and they were both to Michigan. They were both to Tom Brady. Okay?
Right.
Yeah, I helped this. I've helped, like I launched.
You're the reason, right?
I helped. Listen, I really helped Brady's career also. They would look at the Wisconsin tape and go, "Oh yeah, this guy can play." But and one thing when you watch Michigan play, the character, you can feel the character of their football team, and I really believe it. When you watch a team play, you can see, and you look at Ohio State compared to Michigan now, it's not even close.
No,
of both teams, the flag planting and all that. It just, this guy's got no control. Here's my point, Rick. Let alone he has no control of his football team. Well, he has no control of his life.
Right.
And it's a reflection. Your football team is a reflection of your head football coach, and the self-discipline of the head football coach, and the responsibility. This is Listen, you're not just being the head coach of a football team, college football team. You are the head coach, CEO of a multi-million dollar business.
Absolutely. That's right. That's a great point. You are CEO. You're right.
No, you are. I mean, the money, Alabama, LSU, Ohio State, let's name them all. Okay. Michigan. This is you. All of a sudden, you think you're just going to become the head football coach? The responsibilities goes with the money you're making. And there's just multiply it by millions. That's you have millions and millions of dollars of responsibility.
Right.
To the community, to your players, to your AD, and all of a sudden, this is a moment that if all that is true from what I've heard on, I have not talked to any coaches. I don't know anybody on the staff up there. But if all of that is true of the response to the firing's one thing. Now, okay, you got choices to make. Coach Holtz always said the greatest power we have is the power of choice.
Yeah.
The greatest power. Okay? And you got choices. And you got two choices. You can be positive about it or you can be negative about it. And all of a sudden, that switch flipped and he just made something that well, he got fired as a football coach into something that he's in jail.
Right. And the AD, there was rumors that he lost his job. That was false. Again, the media creating things. And then later on, we find out he's not fired. Is he going to make the hire? He's embattled. I doubt he survives this long term. I don't know how he can, especially if all these things are true that they knew about it back in mid-November.
Yeah.
Brought him in and then just let it go.
It's going to get uglier, Rick.
It is.
It's going to get uglier.
And then the thought was, well, we're going to wait till recruiting day. Well, all those kids are free now. They're going to be able to go to the portal. Yeah. It's already being offered. Kids are already saying we're leaving. You know, it didn't do you a bit of good to not deal with it in November. They said they did the investigation. They said they asked them, are you guys doing this? Okay. Have a great day. That was it.
Oh,
what?
God. Yeah, it's, well, look what happened to Michigan. Again, I'm close enough to the program through my brother because he was a big Michigan State supporter, being an anesthesiologist doc. He lived in the neighborhood with Izzo. He lives in Izzo's neighborhood, okay? And that's where all the head coaches are. Mel Tucker lived in his neighborhood. Nick Saban lived in his neighborhood. When Nick called me up and asked me to interview for an assistant's job at Michigan State, my brother got so excited. He goes, hey, you can live right next to me. I said, no, Ken, I cannot. I'm just an assistant coach. And but look what happened in Michigan State, when they had the trainer, the doctor with the Olympic team, and that fallout, it just destroyed that program.
Yeah.
No, right. A lot of people got fired. And I may be wrong, but I think the president, the AD, and then the Mel Tucker thing, all of a sudden you have a situation right now. It's a domino, Rick.
Yeah.
Coach Moore was the first domino to fall, and the rest of them, you hit that one and it's going to fall.
I agree. Yeah. Soldiers will come tumbling down. Yeah.
Ugly domino effect. And what this man, allegedly and all that, whatever, what the decisions that were made and choices that were made. Okay. And especially the negative choice of I'm going over there to try to rectify this in a physical way.
Well, the agent, yeah. The only truth that goes on during these coaching searches are from the agents. They're the ones who, I know my source in the Big Ten got most of his from an agent about the whole Franklin Watek got put off for 3 weeks, all these things. And you hear all this and you realize that's going to be accurate, and nothing that's reported about it is. It's just crazy where we've gotten. But who's going to take the Michigan job? I know it's still blue blood, but is there somebody? I don't think it's going to be anybody who just signed a contract. It's nobody who just got hired. They were trying to speculate it was going to be DeBoer at Alabama, that Matt Campbell was going to go back and say, I'm going to think about it. And it's just, that's not going to happen.
Rick, I've been coaching. People say, well, you had a lot of jobs. I said, I don't do necessarily jobs. I do conferences. I've been in just about every conference in the country. ACC, Southeast, Big Ten, the old Pac-10. And I'll tell you, the Big Ten, there's nothing like it. I'm just telling you. The SEC is exciting, you're going into just the excitement of the 3:30 game as a coach. It really was. It was a great experience. But Big Ten football, outside of Northwestern, every stadium is full. And the class of the programs, I'm not saying the others weren't, but the class of, you go down to Iowa and Kinnick Stadium, you walk in, you just feel a class of the program.
Yeah.
Okay. The Badgers, you go to a Badger game, you go to a Michigan State game, the enthusiasm for those schools with those students and alumni and people supporting the program. It's first class. It's first class. Everything about the Big Ten is first class. Everything. And Michigan, when I was young enough, that's a dream job. That's a dream job for any graduate assistant, analyst, assistant coach, and head coach. And the guy I would go after is Clark Lee at Vanderbilt. I would give him, he would not be able to turn it down. He could not. His wife would actually literally, she'd be thrown in jail if he turned it down.
He is the one name that's stuck around the longest. Is Clark?
This is the guy. Well, this is the job. If you're going to take one, because here's the thing about Michigan. Okay, perception's reality, and here's the big. And this is why I'm going to digress one thing, Rick. Don't be shocked if Virginia's in the Big Ten. Don't be shocked. The Big Ten, that they are the Ivy League of college football. That's their perception. Michigan is Harvard. That's their perception. Okay. And that is the academic integrity is really above reproach. When you look at Illinois, Wisconsin, Northwestern, Michigan, and I'll even throw Ohio State in there. I mean, whether people think it is or not, or your listeners, what are you talking about? Are you kidding me? Academic integrity? No, that's what they believe. That is beyond reproach in the Big Ten. It's a stigma. And I've been at 3 universities. Purdue, you talk about a national class university, the engineering. The first man on the moon, Neil Armstrong, is a Purdue grad.
Right.
Sully, who landed the plane in the Hudson, is a Purdue grad.
That's right.
Okay? So don't you think they'd like to have Mr. Jefferson's University in that conference? Trust me, Rick. It's going down. They're back channeling. And so you get Clark Lee from Vanderbilt to Michigan, the integrity that goes with it, been at Notre Dame as a defensive coordinator. No, that's the guy I'm doing everything I can. If I'm the AD and I want to save my job, I'm getting that guy immediately.
Recruited that area strongly for those years, the Midwest, all the Midwest. Yeah, makes sense.
The familiarity, because listen, the state of Michigan, you look at the states of Ohio and the state of Michigan, the high school football in those states are outstanding. And Michigan is one of the only schools that could go into the state of Ohio and get a great. Charles Woodson is from Ohio.
Right.
Okay, end of story. And Ohio can go into Michigan and get a great player. That's the only 2 schools that can cross those states and go in there. Okay. And then Michigan, you can go to Louisiana and get kids. Cause I know they'd come down to Louisiana and Nick shut them out. But before they were coming in getting kids. You could go to Florida and go get kids, go get the best academic football player in the state. That's what they would do. Okay. And they could do that nationally, go to California. And when I tell you, when I used to coach against Michigan, the thing the game was over in pregame.
Right, yeah.
At least in my feeble mind. And they would come out with no pads on in their pregame warm-up. And it looked like they had pads on.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
They were fully padded. Every quarterback was 6'3" and 6'4" and 6'2". Just good-looking kids. And then they'd finish their drills by throwing these bombs into the end zone and in full stride, these receivers right in their hands.
Yeah.
And every quarterback is the accuracy was ridiculous. I said, crap.
Hey, not these guys.
I mean, all of a sudden there's Brady. We lost 2 Big Ten games, and it was to that jerk. It wasn't Michigan. We had the better team. They had the better quarterback. But I would go get Clark Lee.
Makes sense. Makes
sense.
And
if I couldn't do that, Dan Lanning from Oregon, another guy, just because of you got to get it. You got to hit just like Michigan State with Pat Fitzgerald. Now he won the lawsuit. He won the lawsuit against Northwestern, which he should have. You talk about the hazing incident. My whole thing. Listen, he got fired because his last year is a bad record. Now that's a fact.
Yeah, they weren't good at the end, were they? They were not.
I believe
for him. Yeah,
they just wanted him fired because if that hazing incident, and I'm not going to diminish that, but if it's that bad, if it was that bad, it took him 5 years to figure it out.
Yeah, talk about administration failure, right?
Well, Rick, come on. If it's that bad, I would think 1 year or 2 years after the second year or the third year, you kidding me? We're fired. You're fired. You're responsible for this. You're fired. It took them a losing season to figure this out. And so, now if they just want, now I think the head coach of Michigan more, they probably would have fired him if this incident hadn't taken place, if he had, lost a couple of games this year. But I just think that was not the Michigan teams that I know and I watch in the past, even off the TV games, because I told my brother, I said, this is a bad character football team. Not that they're bad kids, or the kids have bad character, but the discipline on that football team is, and that, you go buy a quarterback that's going to Louisiana and outbid LSU for the quarterback. That's not Michigan. That's not Michigan. It's like Notre Dame. Notre Dame's going to have they're going to have a salary cap after a while.
Yeah, they will. They're going to have to.
This is not basketball, Rick. This is football. Your quarterback's going to be as good as your O-line is, as good as your running back is, as good as your receiver is. I mean, and Indiana can go get the Mendoza kid, probably for lunch money.
No.
Okay, and they go buy the kid that committed to LSU as the freshman, and he's the talk of the town. And you look at the Heisman Trophy winners. Who were the preseason Heisman Trophy candidates? Manning, right?
Yeah, that's
Manning
true.
Was one. The kid from LSU, Nussmeier, was one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And none of them are even close. They ain't on the plane to New York. It's
how bad. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And I was going to follow up on Indiana. You've been in that, that league as well as anybody, Coach, and you know how bad Indiana has traditionally been.
Listen,
how in the world is this not the greatest coaching job we've seen in the last I don't know how long?
Let me tell you, Rick. When I go down certain teams that through my career, I said, okay, Miami. I was in East Carolina. We lost to them 13-12. And we had the ball on the 1 yard line, going to win the game, and pass was broken up. Well, I'm at Syracuse. We have the ball. The kid gets tackled on the 2 yard line. If he goes in to score, we beat Miami at Syracuse, and they're number one in the country with Gino Torretta. And the '83 Miami team that I was talking about in East Carolina, they went on to win a national championship. So I'm 3 yards short of beating Miami. 3 yards on the two greatest teams they've ever had. Okay? I've never beaten them. Never beat Miami. Beat Michigan once. I'm going through all these teams and I'm watching TV. I go, nope, never beat them. Never beat them. Indiana comes on, never lost to them. And that's at different schools. Purdue, the old Oak and Bucket, Minnesota, with a bad Minnesota team, and in the Independence Bowl, playing Indiana at Virginia Tech, never lost to them. Never.
How has he done it? He's got 3-star recruits. He took a bunch of JMU kids. He doesn't have 4 and 5-star guys. He unearthed Mendoza. You just said it. How has he done this so quick? It's remarkable. I don't think we pay enough attention to the job that he's done.
Well, his dad was a heck of a coach. I mean, his dad, Frank Signetti, was really a great coach. He just followed Bobby Bowden at West Virginia, and that was a hard act to follow. And Nick Saban was on that staff back in the 70s. Gary Tranquil was on that staff, and Frank Signetti staff. I was coaching at the University of Richmond, and we would play those teams back in 77, 76, 78. That was Daddy was the head coach of those teams. And so he's a son of a coach. Just like quarterbacks, you're a son of a coach. And then I'm sure anybody who spends next time you talk to Todd Grantham, I really believe he'll echo the same thing. You look at all the coaches he's rehabbed, Sark, Lane. He brings these guys in and he rehabs them. And anytime you get a part of his system, if you could keep his personality out of your personality and just take the system with him and do it within your personality, a la Barry Alvarez with Lou Holtz. Most of Lou Holtz's head coach, guys that went on to be head coaches, didn't make it because they'd all try to be like Lou. Barry never was like anybody but Barry Alvarez. Okay, when you look at these, and so Derek Dooley, when Derek went to Tennessee, he tried to be Nick Saban. Okay, bring that process with you, but keep your personality. And right. I know Derek real well. Played for us in Virginia, and everybody that coached with him was miserable, and it didn't work. So you gotta when I'm looking at Cignetti, that experience at Alabama, and then he says, okay, I'm going to go take the IUP job. And I know in the recruiting part of it, I'll guarantee you he is involved in that. She's a lot of 70% of the head coaches are really lazy. The ones I've been with, 70% of them were lazy in terms of recruiting. And I say lazy, they were successful, but they relied too much on their assistants. And Nick Saban watched every tape.
Yeah.
Every tape. And we worked that board. He was the GM, period. And I'm sure Coach Cignetti is the same thing.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
And I know I've heard him talk about the portal. And I thought this was a great point in the portal. Sometimes you have the portal's a log jam. Think about a log jam in a river. Well, sometimes you remove one log, everything starts flowing. All right. So you got to look at recruiting the same way. You can't get blinded. You got to find the log that's going to remove the jam. Basically, you got to have a philosophy, and that you're not going to vary. Don't say never and always, and you'll vary, but we're not going off course with this. Okay, we're going to find the log, remove it, and the rest will flow. Okay, that's how I look at recruiting. His philosophy in the portal, and think about those JMU kids that he brought with him, 13 of them, I think most of them ended up starting for him.
Yeah.
Majority. I heard him say this. Made total sense to me. He wanted, when he went in, as he said on a podcast, when he goes into the portal, minimum of 18 starts. 18 to 24 starts. 2 years of starting for your team. Minimum. Okay? Come from a winning program. Conference MAC championship, Sun Belt championship. Come from a winning program. Okay? From that standpoint. I don't know what Mendoza's record was when he was at Cal.
Right.
But let's put it this way. If he wasn't at Cal, it would have been worse. Whatever the record was. Okay?
Very true.
And so you think about those two things in the portal. If you take those two prerequisites in the portal, okay, you remove a lot of logs, and you find the ones that are flowing to the river and pick out the best logs you got that are flowing down to you through the portal. Example. I'm really excited about this, Rick. And my buddy called me. I won't tell you the school. I don't think it's fair or whatever. It doesn't matter. But he says, I need help. I'm going to be get in touch with my GA. I'm going to be sending you portal guys. They don't have enough money to have all the minions and GMs like Franklin has at Virginia Tech. Bunch of young football guys. He said, I want you to start. I'm going to send you 4 or 5 kids I need you to look at. So it's fun. I get to watch college guys with college film instead of high school, which you can hardly see. And they're not highlight tapes. Well, there's one kid I'm looking at from X University that 6'7", 235, 40 pounds. And I looked at, and I'm watching him. And I said, I don't know. I mean, you got the height. You got exactly what you need in terms of height, length, arm length, this, that, whatever. Then as I'm watching him, I'm sitting here going, nah, I don't see it. He's in the portal. So I knew the personnel guy at the school, just so happens. I call him up. I said, Gino, what am I seeing right on this kid? He goes, absolutely. I said, Y University has offered him $270,000 to come play for him. So I call my buddy up at the school that I'm now employed on through evaluations. I said, schedule that school. And he goes there.
Let's get him on the schedule.
Because I know 1 out of their 11, he's not good enough.
The eyeball test, baby. It never fails.
Oh, Rick, I'm telling you. I said, you make your own decision on the kid. You know, you have 4 coaches look at one kid, and you may have 4 different opinions. That's going to happen.
That's right.
So the more information you can have, I mean, you talk about, you know, stiff ankle, stiff hip, little things that I get to look for in a tape, and you're sitting there going, no, this. No.
Yeah.
Don't get enamored with the height. You know, don't get blinded with the height. So the portal is, and that's what Signetti. He's hit home runs in the portal, and then he's developed a culture and an attitude. Now I look at Indiana's offensive line. You know, anybody that's worked for Nick Saban, I don't care if it's Dan Lanning, Kirby Smart. The number one thing Kirby Smart did to turn Georgia around was to get offensive linemen. Yeah. And let me say this to you: the offensive linemen I looked for that Franklin is bringing in, Virginia Tech has never had these dimensions, never, that I've seen. If he can get those kids in January, if every one of those offensive linemen he's got committed right now, I'm looking at 6'6", 280, 6'7". There's nothing under 6'5" that I've seen, and nothing under 290 pounds. This is what Kirby did at Georgia. This is what Nick did at Alabama. When you look at the top teams, it's all about the O-line.
All about the O-line. Yep.
And the quarterback. And Todd will tell you this. When he was at Georgia with Mark Richt, no knock on Richt, but that offensive line was average. I went to their practices. I said, Todd, they're such great skilled kids. They were great skilled kids. I said, Todd, your offensive line's not very good. He goes, well, that's it. Then Kirby goes there. That's what changed.
That's changed immediately.
So you're bringing the freshman kids in January. If you bring all your quarterbacks and all offensive linemen have to come in January. So then you have the offseason, the spring, the summer, and the preseason to get them on the field. If they're not coming in January, the offensive line, they're redshirting. They're not going to be ready or be ready to win 1 or 2 games.
Right.
That's it if you want to play it. So Franklin's offensive line prospects are outstanding. They really are. I've never seen a class like that in all my 9 years of doing the radio, paying attention to their classes.
Yeah.
I see it like it. And the quarterback they got out of California, he looked good to me. He looked like he reminds me of Brock Hewitt, kid we had at Washington.
Yeah, Brock Hewitt's a broadcaster now. He's a Big Ten guy now.
Brock was his brother Damon was the starter. Brock Hewitt was one of the most highly recruited kids in the country, and ended up following his brother to Washington. He was a freshman.
Yeah, went to UW. That's right.
He was my scout team quarterback. He was pretty dang good. So hope I'm not digressing.
No, it's good stuff, man. Good stuff. Hey, you'll be back on Monday, right?
Frank Signetti, he's, you know, and today because of the portal, without the portal or the NIL, do you turn Indiana around?
No,
I don't know. I don't
probably
know.
Not.
Or this
probably
quickly, not. Could he go there and win games? Yeah, you can go there and win. They've had 8-win teams. They've had some 8-win teams.
Sure, but nothing like this. This is.
But could he go to where he takes it now, where he's the number 1 team in the country? You know, Coach Snyder at Kansas State, I would say, right now, without the NIL, Coach Snyder's still my number 1 guy of turning a program from the
dead.
There's
no doubt. Absolutely.
George Welsh, 27 years of losing seasons, no bowls, 0. No conference championship, 0. The never list in Virginia before he got there equals, it's up there.
Yeah,
with some of the worst programs in America.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how he takes it home in the postseason, Coach. Thanks for jumping on today, man. I wanted to get your take
you're
on all
welcome.
things
It's a lot
Michigan.
of fun, and it's really a sad day. It's a sad day for college football when you get a program like Michigan and the choices, right, wrong, good or bad. Did he do it? Didn't he not do it? Whatever.
I know.
Who's accused? Guess what? It is what it is right now.
It is what it is. That's right. That's right.
All right, buddy. Take care. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, brother. We'll do it again on Monday.
Cool. Sounds like a plan.
All right, brother. Stay safe, man. Good stuff.
Thank you.
That's Coach Elmo, Filmation. Good stuff all the way around. Mike Ashley a little bit later on, and potentially Jen, although she's traveling to go see Holly. So hopefully she'll be able to hop on here at some point. Joining us now on the program from Tech Sideline is Will Stewart. What's up, William? How are you? Good morning.
Jen and Holly together again.
Yeah.
Moment of silence.
She sent me. I said, "Is this a trip to go see Holly?" And all I got was like the evil emojis. I'm like, okay.
She does that just to torture you, right?
I know. Exactly. Good stuff from Coach Elmo. Hey, let me ask you, what's been the reaction so far? The cumulative reaction on your message boards with the coaching staff hires that have been secured by James Franklin?
I wish that we had run an article with some sort of poll in it, basically saying, what do you think? Those kind of polls are hard to run because there's so many options about what you think. And there's so many nuances and things like that. James Franklin, with part of the fan base, has already spent some of the capital, the goodwill capital that he built up. You've always got a portion of every fan base that doesn't matter what you do, it's not good enough for them. And those people have their first bone to chew on, right? It's the first reaction is, really, Brent Pry? Really? Who's what's the other guy's name? Rick?
Yeah. Howell, whatever. Yeah.
Howell. So as a sidebar, we had quite the humorous discussion on the company Slack when they hired Howell, because he's Tyler Bowen in many, many ways. And we got pretty far into the discussion, and then I said, and his name's Ty, so you got to assume his first name is also Tyler. So, there's that match.
True.
It looks, if you're the negative type, it looks on the surface lazy and uninspired. I'll just stick with my buddy Brett, and even though I got all the budget in the world, I'll just bring my inexperienced guy who's never called plays before. And it just sets off the alarm bells. But if you do your research a little deeper, then you're a little more forgiving. Brett Pry had good defenses when he was at Penn State. Top 40 most of the time. I think most of his 8 seasons, or all of them, they were top 40, and then something like 4, 5, 6 of his seasons they were top 25. So he put good defenses on the field. This whole process has got me wishing. I mean, my wife's a Penn State grad, but I still didn't follow Penn State closely. The whole process has got me wishing that I'd been following Penn State ever since Franklin got there, because it's all come to Virginia Tech, right? And I could be so more educated as a Virginia Tech guy if I just covered Penn State closer. So anyway, it's some grist for the mill for those that like to be negative. And Howell, I don't know what to say about that. He's got a reputation as a good recruiter. And James Franklin has a reputation of prioritizing recruiting over pure, straight up X's and O's acumen.
Correct.
So last point I wanted to make about all that is that, and Chris Coleman covered this really well in an article that he wrote, Franklin he's taken some risks on coordinators in the past at Penn State. He's gone outside his bubble and spent a lot of money hiring people and then regretted it, and so I think if Chris wrote an article that the title was something like, James Franklin sticks with what he's familiar with, returns to familiarity, because he has at Penn State, he's gone outside his group and hasn't liked the results. So I think that's what this is. But he did spend some goodwill with some of the fan base, and as always with coach hirings, you just got to kind of see where it goes. I don't know if that's much of an answer. It's kind of a rambling.
No, it's good. I think it's fair because we talked about how hard it is to find a head coach, much less
Mm-hmm.
for that head coach once he's hired to make sure, they bring in the staff that is going to work for them, right? I mean, because all these coaches on all these new hires, I think I saw yesterday 19 new hires amongst the FBS. It's just crazy. So all these guys are looking for coaches. So it's got to be even harder to fill out your staff, right? The way you envision it, at least.
That's a good point, and it's something that a lot of people haven't talked about. Is that there's a huge market for head coaches right now, and when the head coaches move, the assistants move. The coordinators move, and there's just as much of a sub market there going on with the coordinators, and I don't want to cast aspersions on Franklin's thinking, but there's got to be a little bit of a tendency to kind of look at what and think, man, not only is it risky, as I learned from experience, to go outside and just hire somebody I don't know, but it's also going to be very difficult and a lot of work. And I got things I need to do, man. Let's get this staff put together. Let's get moved in here. Let's keep acquiring talent and keep the ball rolling. So I think that's a good point that it's a lot of moving parts here, man. This isn't one-dimensional chess. This is four-dimensional chess, like they play on Star Trek,
Yeah, exactly. And with all these jobs, what's going to be great too about Tech having to hire a new coach now is that we'll be able to compare with all these jobs and how it was handled, right? I mean, you're going to sit there year by year now and go, okay, well, this is what they did, what that guy did. He was fired first, or it's going to be interesting to see how all these things correlate going forward since everybody's being hired at the same time.
Oh man, we've got going all the way back to the Fuente hire. Chris ran a poll presenting something like 10 candidates back then, and fans were allowed to pick their top 3. And it's really interesting to go back and look at that stuff. Tom Herman was coaching at Houston back then, and I think in the Chris Coleman poll that goes way back then, I think Tom Herman finished at the top. So you're right. 10 years later, you get the perspective of what happened.
Yeah. You're like, wow, Tom Herman, who was that?
And then in the Brent Pry hiring cycle, I don't remember who won who came in first in the poll back then, but Chris actually put Brent Pry in it, and Pry finished last because nobody knew who he was.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
But it's always interesting to go back and just see everybody's career arc and where they went and all that stuff. And so I wanted to throw some trivia out there because I was listening to Elmassian talk, and you guys were talking about Signetti. My sister-in-law sang in Kurt Signetti's wedding. My wife's family is from Indiana, Pennsylvania. Signetti married a woman from Indiana, Pennsylvania that some members of my wife's family went to high school with or something like that. I think he coached at IUP for a while. So was I clearly saying Indiana, Pennsylvania? Yes. So that's where my wife's from.
All right.
So that's an interesting little bit of trivia. They don't really know the Signettis. I got a brother-in-law that does have his phone number and text him because when Signetti was coaching at IUP, my brother-in-law is from Indiana, PA, was a big supporter of the program. So I got somebody in my family that's got Kurt Signetti's phone number in their phone.
Let's get him. Let's get him on. Let's get him on with me and you. That'd be great.
Man, that is unbelievable what that guy has done.
It's unheard of. If you look down the lineage of college football, given what Indiana was, I don't know whether he can maintain it long term. At this point, I wouldn't bet against him. But, man, oh, man, it's unbelievable, Will. I don't think we've seen a story like this that happened that quickly at a program like that.
No. Yeah, Virginia Tech played Indiana in the Independence Bowl way back in 1993, and I remember. Now that was back when going to a bowls was a big deal. There were only 19 bowls back then, and Indiana. I don't remember the name of the guy who was coaching them back then. I think it was Bill something, and he had taken them to bowls in something like 8 out of the last 10 years, and that was a big deal at Indiana. And the Hokies blasted Indiana in that bowl, and then Indiana just went into a funk and quit going to bowls. And Virginia Tech kind of broke them, And so, yeah, that's a program that wandered in the wilderness for a long time, and now they're number one in the country. That's
it's crazy, man.
And they won the Big Ten. Like everybody, if you remember the run up to the conference championship games and the selection of the playoff, everybody's like, "Oh, Ohio State's the best, man. It's Ohio State and everybody else." And then Indiana rolls out there and beats them in the Big Ten championship. And every other coach in the country is sitting there going, damn it. Nice going, Signetti. Now everybody's going to expect us to do that. Kansas fans are going to be sitting there going,
I know.
Where's our Kurt Signetti?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's good for him though, man. They're kind of like the team I'm pulling for now, I hope they can take that thing home and see. We'll see if they can or not. But
ordinarily I look at a program like that with some jealousy, but the jealousy's not there because I think Virginia Tech's in a good place. They've done the best they can do. Once all the coaching dust settles and they start ranking all the hires, I think that Franklin might be at the top. He might be, when you see the article saying here's the best coaching hires, Virginia Tech's hiring of James Franklin might be first. In the same way that back when Tech hired Justin Fuente, he was the hot commodity on the market. And the articles that came out back then that ranked the coaching hires, there were 1 or 2 articles where Fuente was first, and he was top 2 or 3 in all of them. So Virginia Tech's a good place. So I'm not jealous of Indiana. So go for it, man.
Take it home, man. Take it home. I'm with you. Yeah, the Fuente hiring was the hire to make, and everybody was like, "Wow, he's coming to." I'll never forget it. Yeah, it was. We were all like, "Good job, Whit. You got the guy." Whit said it best all along. He was the 5-star recruit that didn't pan out for when he made that comment. I was like, you know what? That's about as accurate as I can remember anyone ever describing that whole thing.
and so another great hire that he made was the Buzz Williams hire, and the difference in Fuente and Buzz is that Buzz got the support he wanted. He got everything he wanted in terms of, because Virginia Tech had never had a coach of that caliber in basketball that came in with that sort of resume. I'm trying to remember. I don't think so. And they had certainly never supported a basketball program like they supported Buzz Williams. Buzz was the first guy to show up and put all the chairs on the floor and have more staffers than he had players. That was the first time that happened at Virginia Tech. Look what Buzz did. Buzz took him to a Sweet 16.
Right.
And that was the year that Justin Robinson got hurt and Chris Clark got kicked out of school. If Clark had been on that team playing for them and Justin Robinson had been healthy, that was a national championship caliber team that Buzz put on the floor. Because they beat UVA that year, and UVA won the national championship. That's how good Virginia Tech basketball was. And the point I'm making is that if you make a good coaching hire and then you support them and you don't undermine them, long pause, then then you can win a lot of games.
Do you think maybe looking back to, and I know how when Fuente handled the way they handle things, they shut it down, and that's what's unfortunate so far. It sounds like that's what Franklin's doing too. But a lot of people are saying, you know what, maybe he got undercut more than we thought, right? While he was in Blacksburg, that it wasn't just all Justin Fuente failing, that maybe, like you said, he didn't get all these things that maybe he needed to come in and be successful because of politics around certain people at Tech at the time. I don't know.
Some of it was politics and battling the old guard. And some of it was, there was a shocking lack of awareness on the part of both Whit Babcock and Justin Fuente, the two most important guys running a football program, your AD and your head coach. There was a lack of awareness in what it took to run a program back then. Now I know you and I have talked about this before. When Clemson and Alabama played in their first national championship game, that's when the media started covering the large staffs, the staffing
Yeah.
model that Saban had
Right.
put up in place at Alabama. So even I, as a guy who just reads articles about college football, I knew that to run a successful program, you needed to staff up. And Tech, under Fuente and Babcock, just didn't do that. Didn't realize it was a priority. Didn't go find the money and get it done. So it's, everybody points to the Andrea Edelson article, and they're angry at John Bolen for his reported undermining of Puente. But there's more to it than that, man. What is it? I'm kind of doing it in reverse. Success has many fathers. Failure is an orphan. In the case of Virginia Tech, failure's not an orphan. Failure's got all kinds of fathers and mothers.
It's true.
Cousins. Man, that was a group effort at failing because Fuente is he's a good football coach. He's a good football mind, but he couldn't staff up around him. He couldn't hire people to shore up his weaknesses, one of which was PR. And it's an interesting case study in why things fail.
And then he had his SID Pete going around saying, "No, he's not going to talk to anybody. No, we're not going to let anybody talk to him." It's just weird. That whole thing was weird. That was
well. What's funny about that is way back shortly after Fuente was hired, and I don't know how long Pete Morris had been on the job, but Chris Coleman and I requested a meeting with I think Witt and Pete. And I remember being out with those guys somewhere. We may have even eaten dinner with Whit Babcock and Pete Morris. So it was the two of them and me and Chris Coleman sitting across the table from them. Back then, Rick, it was just me and Chris Coleman. We were all of Tech Sideline.
Yeah.
And we sat there and we told Whit and we told Pete, you got to understand what the Virginia Tech fan base is used to. They're used to a lot of access and a lot of communication. Beamerball.com ran under Frank Beamer for 15 years.
Yeah.
And provided unprecedented access into the program. If you remember when in the post-practice interviews, particularly during spring ball, Frank would bring his entire coaching staff into a room. They would sit around the perimeter of the room. They'd bring 2 or 3 players with them, sit around the perimeter of the room. The media would walk into the room, and you could just walk around and talk to whoever you wanted to talk to.
It was awesome. Yeah.
And you were talking to them one-on-one. We've got, if you go way deep in the Tech Sideline video archives on YouTube, we've got videos that Chris Coleman made where he just carried a camera around and held it like this and started talking to whoever was sitting at the table. And media loves that stuff because you could get exclusive interviews. Sure, Bud's sitting there at a table, but Norm, I'm blanking on Norm's last name that wrote for a paper out. I
know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Norm would go up and talk to Bud and ask him questions, and he would walk off. And then Mike Harris would go up and ask Bud questions, and so you were getting a one-on-one interview.
Absolutely.
And then when Pete started here, they put everybody behind the podium in front of the room, and everybody locks up when you do that.
Yep.
And I'm just rambling right now. So I remember when Scott Leffler was here, Leffler behind the podium was stiff.
Yeah.
Leffler talking to 3 or 4 guys was a little bit more conversational. If you got Scott Leffler one-on-one, he was great to talk to. But those things didn't happen. So anyway, so we sat there, we told Whit and Pete, like, here's what people are used to. You can't just go to a different model and have it sit well. And they were like, and they listened, but
they listened, but didn't really pay any attention to it.
And man, that was 10 years ago, and the access ever since then has sucked in comparison. And I get it. You can't run the program as open as Frank did. You can't have open scrimmages where your opponents can come in and just scout your team.
I think back first run of the show, when Jim Weaver was there, he came on my show every week. And I think about that. Like, wow. Can you imagine that would never, ever even be considered today by probably any AD, much less, the one over, Whit Babcock.
Well, Whit's not a great communicator, and he knows it. And I think he's self-conscious about it. You may one day run into, like, who knows what the next athletic director is going to be like. Maybe he's a blabbermouth who likes to talk, and gets the whole, yeah, let's go on Rick's show. Yeah, let's go. Now, to be fair, Whit will come if we ask him. He wasn't a great interview, but he was accessible. Man, do you think he was a great interview? I thought he was very stiff when he talked.
No, he was. Yeah, he's like he is how he is whenever he speaks. You tried. You did the best you could. But yeah, I get it.
Jim was very, very measured. I always felt like you'd ask Jim Weaver a question, and he had two halves of his brain. He had the regular answer, and then he had, what would my attorney tell me to say? He always seemed like he was being very careful about stuff. And sometimes Jim got into trouble. Like, you remember after that football game against Georgia Tech got rained out. Weaver made the mistake right after the game of saying something like, we're going to reschedule this game. And then a day or two later, he was like, wow, that's just not feasible. It is just not feasible.
Not gonna
so
work.
It was one of the rare occasions where Weaver spoke without thinking.
Yeah.
And man, he got roasted for that, just because he kind of spoke in the moment and then later realized it was a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
he was good. All right. So people got questions for Will in chat. So first of all, remind people again what's behind you. Right? They're not sure what kind of book. First of all, they weren't sure those were books. I saw people thinking they thought they were VHS tapes at first.
They do. They do look like giant tapes.
They kind of do. That's because
the lighting in the office here creates a lot of glare on the spines. But those are books that are called an omnibus. So they're comic book omnibuses, and I'm sitting here looking at them while we talk.
That's cool. They look great.
And so, like, this is this one over here, for example, is Amazing Spider-Man Omnibus #1, and it collects in hardbound format the first 30 issues of Amazing Spider-Man, dating all the way back to the 60s. So this was something that Marvel started doing about 15, 20 years ago, was when it became really expensive to buy the back issue comics. They were like, oh man, let's just collect these things and then bind them into these big books, and then we can sell these books.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
The cover prices on these books is like $100 to $125.
So much for being affordable.
Yeah, well, that said, if you're getting 30 issues for $120, it's $4 an issue, which is on the back issue market. So I got Spider-Man all the way back here, and then I got some Avengers.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff. So,
and what are you drinking? Like, you're not drinking your Mountain Dew. You got a cup today. They were asking about that.
I was going to make a joke, but I won't do it. There's Diet Mountain Dew in there. I just poured it out of the can.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So, you know me, folks. Yep.
Getting started early here on Friday.
Oh man, so is my time up? Phil Elmassian ate into my time, man.
Yeah, a little bit. I see Mike Ashley in the green room right now. Yeah.
Ashley's lighting is horrible. Is it still horrible?
Let's do this. Let's get here.
You gonna put him in?
Hey, let's go. What is there? He is. See that guy? Yeah, his lighting. What's he got behind him right now? I'm not sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I fired my lighting guy, but I got. It's early in the morning here, and I have no place in my Delaware palatial estate. By the way, this is the Fortress of Solitude versus the Bat Cave that fans saw before. So yeah, here you go. Anyway, yes. I'm trying to use what my wife refers to as my bulbous head to block the sunlight behind me. And by the way, dude, I'm very jealous of your omnibus. You know, for me, an omnibus, I thought that was the size of the mass transit I had to ride on. I didn't, didn't know anything about that. But yeah, I'm an old comic book guy too. Well, I hope you've got that too. So we that's that. I always told people, for me, when I came out of comic books and looking for something else, I went to another fantasy world, sports. And I used to write my own comics, by the way, which shall never be seen again by human eyes.
So, Mike, here's some Will Stewart trivia. When I was a kid, my passion is writing fiction. So when I was a kid, I started creating my own superheroes and writing superhero stories. And in 6th grade, I created a 4-member superhero team that was this mashup of the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. And over the course of the next 5 years, it's like sitting right over here somewhere, I wrote 1,000 handwritten pages of this superhero team's adventures.
That's cool.
So you talk about writing your own superhero stuff, and both my sons read the entirety of it growing up.
Now, how old were you when you were doing that?
Started when I was in 6th grade, and then wrote that way too long. Like I continued to write that stuff through 11th grade. And then when I hit page 1,000, that's when I retired it. And so what I did was each 10 handwritten pages was an issue. So I had issue numbers, so that I wrote 100 issues, 1,000 pages, and like I said, yeah, that's it. That's a stack sitting right there on my desk. So
that's cool.
I love reading that stuff.
Yeah, it's fun to look back at it. By the way, the busted clipboard that I used to use to draw, and that was my weakness, was the drawing. People make fun of me. I've got this thing I've had it since 2nd grade. It was one of those blue cloth bound ring binders that my brothers had, and I inherited, and eventually it started falling apart. So I just ripped the part that had the clipboard on it off, and I still have it, and I do my crosswords at the beach under the umbrella with it. So we stay connected to our roots, don't we, Will?
Yeah. Cool. So you got the bucket hat, and do you put the white stuff on your nose? And
no, umbrella, floppy hat, or some other hat. By the way, I just retired my Bloomingdale's hat, which had been a bright royal blue, and over the years became gray. So the new hat, I think now I've got my Terrapin Times hat lined up for this summer. My years covering the Terps. I like to go. And look, this is the thing a lot of people don't get, but I know you guys do. You wear your sports stuff, whatever, and it's always a conversation starter with somebody, or their stuff is a conversation starter for me. And, you just meet people so easily when you're representing, for your teams and stuff.
Yeah. So I was
across and gets the Lakers.
Yeah.
So I was at a comic book show Sunday, Rick, down in Charlotte, one of the Charlotte Comic Con. It's gotten where they run it like 4 times a year. And I was wearing a Virginia Tech hat and a South Carolina sweatshirt because Mike, my middle son, went to South Carolina. Right, so I got 2 that went to Tech and 1 that went to South Carolina. And I had a number of people walk by and say, "Go Hokies" and "Go Cox." And I had 2 people walk by and say, "What do you got going on there? Is that a Beamer thing?" And I'm like,
well, there you go.
I like that. So some other guy comes up, he starts talking to me, and he says, "What do you think about the James Franklin hire?" And after about a minute of talking to him, I'm like, this guy is really well informed. So I pulled out my business card and I handed it to him, my Tech Sideline business card, and he looked at it and he went, "Are you Will Stewart?"
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, I am.
Tech Sideline subscriber, been hanging out on the message board for forever. So yes, cool. You're right. When you wear the gear, it's always a conversation starter.
Very cool. Very cool.
One of my favorite stories up here, and I am out my back door, turn to the left at the end of the short block, walk a short block, and I'm right at the Dogfish Head Brewery. And that place gets packed on rainy Saturdays when people can't go to the beach and they're up here. So I was over there one of those days and I see a guy and he's wearing a North Texas shirt with a football helmet on it. And this is a crowded room. And I walked up to him and I just went, go Mean Green. And this is several years ago. I just go Mean Green. And he like grabs me and all, how do you know the Mean Green? And I go, well, I got a buddy that works down there. One of Rick's predecessors, Hank Dickinson, who used to be our radio guy for one season. And I say, well, I know a guy who works down there. He goes, who? And I go, Hank Dickinson. He goes, oh, hold on a second. He pulls out his phone and he calls Hank Dickinson. And he hands me the phone.
That's cool.
The first time I talked to Hank
awesome.
in like 15 years. Sports, guys, sports. I know some people look down their noses because we read comics and we follow sports, but I'm telling you, it's a world, if you don't want it, we'll keep it to ourselves because we're having a blast.
So one of the great things about being a Virginia Tech guy is that orange and maroon is such a unique combination, right?
Yes.
If you're orange and blue and you're walking around, you don't know if it's the Denver Broncos or the Cavaliers.
That's
red and black. Yeah, red and black is very common. So many, many years ago when I was living in Charlottesville, I was in the restroom of an establishment called Sloan's. Sloan's used to be a bar we used to go to in Charlottesville all the time. And I must have had some Hokie gear on because the guy next to me starts talking to me. He's like, hey, Hokies. And I'm like, yeah. I'm kind of busy. And I said to him what I just said to you. It's kind of fun wearing orange and maroon because it's really unique. And the guy said, well, I went to a school down in Texas that also is orange and maroon. And I was like, really? And unfortunately, the story falters here because I don't think he told me the name of the school or I forgot it. But he says that there's a school down in Texas that also wears orange and maroon. So that's why the guy reacted to me wearing Hokie stuff.
Right. Well, that's why I put orange. See, I put on our names. I did orange there to celebrate the orange for Tech. There you go.
Sure.
Burnt orange, right? See, that's more burnt orange. I can go bright orange.
Chicago.
Hey, so to bring the conversation back around the comic books, when I was at this show Sunday, Rick, I was specifically looking for old Amazing Spider-Mans. And when I came out of that show, I now own Amazing Spider-Man number 21 all the way up. They're almost to issue number 1,000 now.
So now you're down to like 20 back, number 20 back. Is that where you are?
I got to fill in 1 through 20, and this is when it gets really slow and really expensive.
Yeah.
What's that, Mike?
Good luck with that. Those are pretty expensive.
It's going to be a process.
That'll be a process. It will.
See, fortunately, I have complete control over the family finances, so my wife doesn't get to second guess.
Yell at you for that. Yeah. That's a good luxury.
All I have to do is give her everything she wants, and then I can buy whatever I want.
Yeah, exactly. All right, brother. Well, have a good weekend. We'll see if we get Jen on here. I don't know whether she's going to jump on.
So I'm out of here, and you're staying on with Mike?
Yeah, Mike's got to do his open mic coming up. He's got to.
And then I got to run so Jen can come make her picks or whatever.
Well, we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. She's at the airport or heading to the airport this morning. I don't know. She told me, so we'll see.
She's kind of flighty that way.
Yeah, exactly.
Appreciate it.
Have a good weekend, brother. All right, brother. Be good, man. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Will.
All right, Michael Ashley. How are you, man?
Am I
the light. I hate the light behind you. Like cuts out half your face. That's the problem.
Okay, well, I'm gonna lean forward and just put my big bulbous head right here.
That's all right.
To block. Yeah, there's nothing I can do. This is the only corner of the house.
No, hey, it's fine. Hey, we get to hear you. That's good. You look great. You look great.
Yeah, it's not as good as the back cave.
It's okay. Go ahead. Do your open mic. I always look for people. By the way, love it. I get all these comments. People love your open mic.
Well, we'll see how they feel about this one. All right. So let me gear up here. Get the light on the halo around me just right because we're gonna go after some people here today. So the 12-team college playoff is here and everyone's happy. Wait, let me check the notes. Notre Dame is taking their Golden Dome and going home. Notre Dame is not going to play in any reindeer games or any bowl games, which seems on brand since they don't show up for their conference for most football games in their we're special and get to do what we want to do mode. They certainly accept conference trophies, championships, honors, and membership privileges in other sports, but eschew football full membership, which means they cannot be eligible for the conference championship. This would have been a pretty good year to be eligible for the ACC title, Notre Dame, because the stumbling, bumbling ACC pretty much left the door wide open. All the major conferences have too many teams to play a full league schedule that would likely preclude 5 lost teams winning rings. Sorry, Duke, but come on. It's not even really basketball season yet. And good luck hanging on to Manny Diaz if you Devils do it again or come close next year. One of many crimes committed against conferences and fans, thanks ESPN, is the consolidation that gave us the 16-team SEC, the Big 18, the Pac-2, and the Atlantic Coast Conference with 2 Pacific Coast and a Texas school. TV only knows geography in relation to the number of televisions in the Nielsen standings. With all the things we've lost in our college football, let's see, some traditional rivalries, the no I in team, unless it's itemized deductions from payments to athletes and former coaches, Marty Smith in Mississippi for a weekend. Let's see, what else we lost? Respect for Lane Kiffin and the ability for fans to drive to most road games. Maybe note or blame criticizing the ACC is just where we are now. If it's not apparent as far as ACC football goes, the inciting Irish need to poop or just get off the golden pot. The irony for the getting their Irish up is that one measurable I think we can't argue with is head-to-head matchups. That's what the Deep State Selection Committee cited in their decision to let Miami take their talents to the college football playoffs. And really, that's what sports are all about, right? Mano a mano, face-to-face, eyeball to eyeball, NIL pin number to NIL pin number. I think it's why the commercials are telling us to drink Modelo beer and be a fighter. Leave it all in the field. Our hearts and guts and spleen, not Modelo beer bottles, just to be clear. I'm hearing we need a bigger field of teams talk again. Hey, one more time. The football playoffs are special because not everyone gets in. Same with the NCAA basketball tournament, smart guys. Please, we're begging you, keep something special in sports when you're handing out all the TV money to the schools that already have all the TV money. So cue up the Radford Bobcat, Notre Blame fight song, as famed announcer Lindsey Nelson would tell us on Sunday mornings when I was a kid and ran home from church to turn on the TV. After exchange of punts and Jardians commercials, we moved to action further in the postseason.
Notre Blame. I like it. I remember those vividly too, man. I didn't really understand. I thought the games were live. I didn't realize that my dad had to go, no, those were played yesterday. The Notre Dame game.
Yes, yeah, not at noon. Right, that came on. There wasn't there the Virginia Tech football show, Notre Dame, and then right into the NFL today.
Right.
It was the way to go. And if I hustled home, I could from church, which by the way was across the street from my house, which is why I could pull this off. I could see most of the Notre Dame show, and then was ensconced, but for the home couch advantage for NFL Today and Phyllis George's legs and all that. Yeah.
Even then, Notre Dame had the cachet. Even then, right?
That's part of why but that goes back to the 20s and stuff. If you've read any of that stuff in the old time football, which seems more like the new time football now, when they talked about guys were eligible for 9 years and switching schools back then, and then the NCAA came in and supposedly fixed all that stuff, and then they just let it creep away again, So
exactly.
Yeah. I remember. Let's see, what were some of the great Pudge Hufflinger from back then? Jay Berwanger, the first Heisman Trophy winner. There were some great names.
Yeah, those are great names. It almost sounds like something you'd make up to try to get some kind of dirty talk going. But yeah, those are actual names.
Those are the real guys. Yeah. Football names like Bronco Nagurski.
Nagurski. Yeah. Where you got to run to? You said you got to run. Where are you going?
Oh no, I was running across the street to get home from church to.
No, you said you needed to get off today. What was it you were going to? You said you had to go do something. What are you going to do? What do you got going on? You're retired.
What?
I said you're retired. You got nothing to do.
Actually, you know what? I got one of our old student workers is passing through. I'm having brunch with him today over in Milford, Delaware. By the way, we've got Milford, Millville, Milton, all these places up here, and then the one I love, Dagsboro. Those are places right around me, and I always figured the people in Dagsboro got to this area the latest, and they wanted a mill name like everybody else, and there were none left. They went, Dag. Oh, hey, how about Dagsboro?
I'm going to believe you. You're so good. I'm going to believe that story.
I this is a kid I told you about before, Jerome Nottingham. He's up in Philadelphia now, where he owns a company called Shibe Sports.
Not the Virginia Tech, not the Virginia Tech guard.
No, that was
Quentin Nottingham, right?
Quentin Nottingham. And ironically, Quentin Nottingham, I wrote a feature on him way back when. I called it The Marksman from Machi Pongo, which he's from. He was from the northern, the Eastern Shore, and not the Northern Neck, the Eastern Shore.
Player. He's a good player.
Yeah, great shooter back when the 3-point line was new back then.
Yeah.
My boy Jerome was a pretty good player too, and he's done some coaching. But his claim to fame, other than Shibe Sports, which he owns and sells Philadelphia stuff, is he was a part owner of a professional frisbee franchise in Philadelphia, where he was trying to get. He was the guy. He was like trying to be the George Steinbrenner. He was always talking trash to other owners and stuff. And he would be a great guest for you sometime. By the way, he's got quite a diverse sports resume now.
Yeah, heck yeah. Let's get him on, man. Let's do it. Yeah, we'll throw him on. That'd be great. Well, you guys have a great brunch.
Well, how? What's the weather like down there?
Oh, we got a little bit of light snow now. I'll just look out here. There's a light snow. It's not supposed to be anything bad, but schools are all closed again. So
it was supposed to be 24 degrees here, and we've had trouble figuring out our heating in this house. But today is wonderful. My toes are actually warm. I want to drink. I'm drinking left-handed so everybody can see my Radford University pen cup here.
Not double fisting yet. Too early in the day.
No, but I mean, I do have to. If I drink right-handed, see, you can't see.
Yeah, you can't exactly. You got to have
this is the degree of difficulty I've made here in the morning.
When
anyway,
you getting that?
Have you got Jen on the line so I can let you go, or you?
No, well, she's going to hop on when she can. She's hustling through the airport right now, apparently. So.
All right. Well, you want me to run you off, or you want my opinion on Michigan?
We're going to find out. Well, yeah, I got time. Sure, throw me in on the Michigan. This is just, wow. Everything we hear is wow. More and more.
Yeah, and I haven't read as much about it as I should, but my first reaction was, what are they thinking there? They finally were beating Ohio State until this year. And, when I grew up, I didn't like 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And I was predisposed to root for the Wolverines because I was a Wolverine at Andrew Lewis High School. So, I always sort of liked Michigan, liked the love you blue, the whole thing. But now as a Michigan sort of fan from afar, I'm longing for the scandals of Connor Stallions. that was much more fun somehow than this.
It's just wow, the decisions this guy made, and now people are trying to make him out to be a victim. It blows my mind.
Well, he is by no measure of this victim, from what I can tell. It was Will had some very prescient comments there, and about how mistakes that you can make in your athletic department trickle down, and and there have been a lot of mistakes made in athletics that we follow regularly here in Michigan lately. Has been really, oh my gosh, I just don't know what's going to happen there. But I just read when I double checked some stuff to make sure Manny Diaz was still in Duke before I said anything this morning.
You better make sure.
Move so fast. I know he's on the short list there at Michigan. Elmo was right about the Big Ten. There is I don't want to give them a gravitas or anything like that, but the Big Ten is different the way they approach things, and it's a key to their success. And of course, the irony there being that Jim Delaney, their longtime commissioner, that sort of triggered this elevation up there with them in the SEC. He's a Carolina guy, for Pete's sake, and that's why they always come calling for Carolina and Duke and UVA some, and Virginia Tech's got a chance to be, a much sought after program if the ACC doesn't get their poop together, because they do not do a good job marketing. And I was there when the change was made, and people know my allegiances to the region. I was not very happy with Maryland leaving the ACC on a personal level, but from a financial level, it was absolutely necessary. First year, $20 million more into the coffers at Maryland. And that kind of rescued the track program, at least, and helped make other things better. And how can the school of Ronaldo Skeets Nehemiah not compete in men's track? Come on.
Exactly.
That's kind of stupid stuff that was going on and to be honest, is still going on at Maryland. So,
well, San Francisco 49er, Skeets Nehemiah.
Yeah. No hands, but very good feet.
Yes, exactly.
I'm the other way. I got great hands. You know, my best athletic ability now, whatever food I drop while I'm eating, I can usually catch before it hits anything. That's incredible.
That's a unique talent, though. No,
very
that's a great
underrated,
talent.
but
That's
everything else is gone.
Exactly. Well, brother, have a great weekend. And
hey, you too, pal.
We will catch up again next week.
All right. Goober says hey.
Hey to Goober. Mike Ashley, open mic. Good stuff. Love Mike. Mike's one of my all-time favorite human beings. And it's easy to see why, right? When you jump on and you catch Mike. Mike's as fine of a person as they come. I want to thank Family Fencing Studios, by the way, sponsoring our studio here in Reiner. Now snowy outside, 540-200-8294, familyfencingnrb.com. Snow wouldn't stop them. McClellan Chiropractic, Mark Hundley over in Christiansburg, right off Peppers Ferry Road, sponsor of our chat room. Mark does an outstanding job. We met some more folks yesterday, people that followed up with me that got jobs at Professional Door Incorporated. Congratulations, you're working for a great company. Travis Williams, sponsor of our text line, 38 years in business, right across from New River Community College. I'm so glad that people heeded the call. It was awesome to be able to help out. What little way we helped out. But Travis is great. He's great. Ready Set Fund, Bob Chris, they are great. ReadySetFund.com. Read up on it. I know I did when I went to the website. It's really cool. BobChrist11@gmail.com, CRIST. He's the brother of Dave Christ, the Hall of Fame football coach. And if you have an organization, you need to raise some money, it's a text message plan. Ask Floyd County Girls Softball, $4,000 in 5 days. Yes. BDST Fan Question of the Week by the attorney Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford. And the winner is, those of you that responded, 71 of you did not like Brent Pry being named the defensive coordinator. That won this past week. Charles Lee, Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. They are the best, and they will come out in the weather too. They're not going to be upset by that. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner, BDST, my exclusive banking partner for 35 years. They're the best. If you need a new bank, go see them. Just go talk to those folks. They're great. And yesterday we had Tim Miller on, Pulaski County Sports Entertainment, the presenting sponsor of BDST here on YouTube. And just so excited. Everybody was talking about how excited they were. Just hearing, again, somebody from that organization here on the program. Thanks to the NRV Super Bowl. It's the area's leading entertainment center. Give them a call, 540-382-5525. Reach out for Amanda or Terry. Sarah Williams is the bowler of the month. She hit 288 and 271. Wow. Those are two high games. And they got a lot of great stuff, and we're going to do a lot more stuff with those folks. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply has been the place to go for manufactured home parts since 1997, 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. Give James a call, 540-381-8011. Go to Harvey's Gym in Radford if you need your vehicle serviced, or if you want a new or used vehicle, they're the best. Go see them. They are the absolute best. They really are. Love those folks. Thanks to Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel. All right, in Pulaski, give them a call. Screen printing, embroidery, laser engraving. They're the best, too. All these people are just wonderful what they do. It's awesome. And thanks to everybody at the Montgomery County Chainer, Steve Bufato, and all the folks that they're doing. We're going to do some more things with them coming up. Great stuff. And thanks to all of you, the best listening now / viewing audience, and all of you, too. Oh, man, a lot to get caught up with here. I'm way behind on chat. We had great guests, it just kind of flowed into one another. It's good stuff. Hey, what's up, Paul Hightower? Yeah, Mike is a wonderful human being. You're too kind, Prometheus. I appreciate that. I really do. It's awesome. National Bank cashing those YouTube checks. Yeah, baby, you know it. You hand them the YouTube check. They're like, hang on, we got some change here. We just picked up off the floor. Here you go. Jen is getting from one place to the other. She just texted me. She's on her way to Orlando to see Holly. Check out my latest article about the mess of the playoff committee and the Pulaski County Patriot. Thanks a lot, Mike Williams, for the opportunity. Big Dog Barks. It shows up every Friday in the sports section. And thank you, Mike, for all of your support. Mike Williams you talk about somebody else who's great at what they do. I know Mike a long time. And the Patriot is a terrific newspaper, man. It's old school. And it's great online, but it's great to hold, too. It's great. Oh, by the way, let me show you this real quick. I promise. I had people ask. We had questions about the whole UCLA thing. And I mentioned my first game was the 76 Rose Bowl. Well, my dad, he said, hey, make sure you hang on to that. And I did. There it is. Well, my ticket, that's my game ticket. I'm going to have to take it out. Hang on. He took it out. It's an episode of Seinfeld. If you know, you know. He took what out? He took it. She blows on her glasses. Out. Here's my ticket, by the way. Row 75, seat 114. There it is. For the 1976 Rose Bowl. Yes, sir. How about that? There's my ticket stub. First football game I ever saw. New Year's Day, January 1st, 1976, 2 p.m. It was 5 p.m. out there. Folks, look at that. $15 to go see the Rose Bowl in 1976. $15. $15. And then there's the program, by the way, if you can see all that. Y'all see that okay? But yeah, I held on to that, have since put it in one of these things so it wouldn't get damaged. It's not in the best of shape, but I looked at it for many, many years. It's in good shape. There you go. There's my ticket. That's really special because I just remember, seeing that. My dad, he had them all, and, But yeah, brings back some memories. There you go. First game. All right. And then we segue out of that. I always keep the ticket with it because I'll lose it if I don't. So that's how it usually looks when I have it out. So, and then the next night, my first ever basketball game. And indeed it was the Denver Pioneers. There's the program for that. January 2nd, 1976, there, Poly Pavilion. Denver Pioneers and the UCLA Bruins. Yeah, I've thought about framing it. I need to. This one's beat up. This one's not in great shape, but I do need to put it up and probably something. But yeah, I've kept them in pretty good shape. I kept them flat. So there you go. First football game, first basketball game back in 76. I was but a young lad. But yeah. That's Jim Spillane, by the way, for the Bruins going up there. Look at how the programs were done back then. Look at that thing. Not a lot of color in that thing, huh? There you go. But anyway, you asked, and there you go. There you go. Yeah, the Denver Pioneers. That was the next night. I had no idea the historic significance of Poly Pavilion and all those banners that I looked up and saw hanging. Oh. That's right. We started the bicentennial year. I'm out in Cali with my uncle getting married. Yeah. And there I was. It was great memories. Yeah, it is. Seeing that ticket really is kind of vibes of my dad walking up. I remember him having them walking through that tunnel to get to our seats. And we, like I said, we were in row 73. I mean, we had a little bit of a climb to go. Yeah, this is good. This is educational filler, no doubt about it. And then I brought out first Padres game that I ever went to. 19. There you go. During the World Series year of '84. Back out at Jack Murphy Stadium. So I just got it all. There you go. Steve Garvey, right there. Gary Templeton, shortstop. Dick Williams was the manager. Alan Wiggins, the second baseman, who led the National League in steals. Remember that? Kurt Bavacqua, no relation to the moronic AD at Notre Dame. Pete Bavacqua. Luis Salazar. Yeah. So anyway, there you go. You're welcome, America. Hey, BDST legal counsel Richie Davis looking forward to this weekend's football game. Yeah, go Glenver against Strasburg. We love the Army-Navy game. We've been talking about it all week. Yep. NFL game last night, and I had no desire, didn't even turn it on one time. Falcons and the Buccaneers last night. Falcons won, by the way. Go Glenver. Strasburg's a different animal, though. Going to be tough. Richie Davis, of course, part of the Radford Bobcats defensive coaching staff. He knows how good that Glenver team is. Yeah. Good player. I hope they can figure out. Defense is really good. That defense could keep them around in that game until they make a play or two. I hope so. I hope that's the case. But thank you, everybody, in the text line. It's good. People enjoyed seeing the old programs. But anyway, that's my lifelong UCLA link, if people want to know why. So there. Yeah, Army-Navy game, 4 hours to paint the helmets, whatever theme they come up with. That's one I'll never have a problem with, alternate uniforms, because they're always doing something for tradition for each of the academies. Love the Army-Navy game. It's just special. It's so good. Talk about interviewing Coach Wooden. Don't ever just say Wooden. He's Coach Wooden. Oh, my picture with Aaron Andrews? Yeah. We got to hang out with Aaron Andrews pretty well, didn't we? Yes, we did in Nebraska. Oh, wait a minute. Guess who? Where is she? Let's play the game. Where in the hell is Jen? There she is. How are you?
Hey, I hope this is working. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you look great. Sounds great.
Okay, good. I'm in the Admirals Club in the airport.
Oh, the Admirals Club, huh?
It's not all bad.
Hey. So, why don't you let people know where you're headed there, Jen?
I'm going to Tampa this weekend.
You're going to Tampa? Who are you going to go see?
I'm going to go see Holly.
Oh, yeah.
Your favorite.
Watch out, Tampa. Your town won't be the same. You deserve a little leisure right after that god-awful football season. You deserve it.
It's just a reset, a palate cleanse.
A palate cleanse?
Yes.
Is this a weekend thing or are you staying for longer? Is this
just a weekend because next week I have to go to Chicago for work. I do. Tuesday through Saturday.
What do you do? What do you work? You're the head of the USC School of Music.
I am not. That's the dean.
Oh,
no.
Well, what are you doing in Chicago for work?
It's the biggest band conference in the world.
What does that mean now? What's a band conference? Like, what do you guys do there? Seriously, I don't know.
A lot of performances from groups that have provided essentially auditions to get reviewed. It is a huge honor to perform there.
Oh, cool. So you have kids. Oh, okay. You have kids performing there.
More alumni, usually.
More alumni.
There's some
Okay.
high schools and middle schools, but a lot of professional kind of groups too. And there's an exhibit hall. It's the biggest exhibit hall, I think, in the United States at McCormick in Chicago. And it's all instruments and sheet music and equipment that bands need, uniforms, everything. And we run our booth for the University of South Carolina to represent there.
Oh, okay. Okay. Paul says he's leaving Chicago right now. He's leaving today. He says it's very cold. 12 degrees tomorrow. Good luck. Did you wear your parka?
I'll be prepared.
Oh, yeah. Sellers should pay back USC that $2.5 million.
Who said that?
Prometheus, bringer of fire.
Whatever. It wasn't all his fault. A lot of people to blame for that.
Well, the head coach. That's who you blame. That's who you blame, right?
I personally blame.
Did we lose you? Hang on here. You're frozen now. There we go. That's okay. I know airport wireless. I get it.
Sorry.
We've
Sorry, not the best of conditions.
That's okay. It's okay. You're kind of freezing up on us a little bit. There we go. That's a little better. That's better. Now you're moving around. Okay. Now we got you.
Okay. Sorry. I'm using
No,
the
you're
Wi-Fi.
good. Hey, no, look, I appreciate the effort. It's cool that you're even doing this, considering that so where are you going now? Where are you right now?
I'm at Charlotte Airport and I'm flying to Tampa shortly.
Okay. What time's your flight?
10. I got a little time.
No.
I just landed from Columbia.
Okay. All right. So Columbia to Charlotte straight into Tampa. So you'll be okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Everybody says Sellers is leaving South Carolina. Are you going to be very upset?
I am going to be upset. Yes. I don't know if he's going to leave, though. I'm not totally getting his vibes.
You know how for years you gave me a hard time? You've always given me a hard time about the whole UCLA thing. I brought my reason why, the 76 Rose Bowl.
Oh, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, people were asking. So you've never seen it. There's my ticket. There's my actual seat ticket from the game. First football game I ever saw, right there. Yeah.
It's a shame you couldn't go somewhere closer to home in the South to see your first game.
Somewhere that wouldn't turn into a horrible football environment. Yeah.
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 So we're a little closer, more indicative of your culture,
Yeah.
growing up in Dublin or wherever you grew up.
That's where family was, I had to go. I didn't know. I didn't book the flight. I didn't know where the hell I was going.
That's what I think about when I look around to see all those kids near me at the Gamecock games. I think, all
right. So all the peeps.
Time.
So the peeps are giving you up and down about Sellers. Deal with the reality. Denial's just a phase of grief. Are you going to root for him? What if he goes to another SEC school? Whoa.
I'll always root for him.
What if he becomes the next quarterback at Clemson? Oh!
I was still rooting for him. I think he's an
What
awesome
is it
guy.
about Lenore Sellers? What is it about him you like so much? Because he's not that good of a football player.
Did you see him last year? Last year. Think about last year. That's the Sellers I know and love.
What did he do as the field general of the preseason number 13 ranked Gamecocks?
Stop.
So if he became the quarterback at Clemson, you would still pull for him.
Yes.
Wow.
Good.
You haven't had this kind of feeling about a quarterback since what? What's the kid's name whose jersey you have?
Connor Shaw.
I
love some Connor Shaw.
Oh, I know this.
He's number one, but Sellers is right behind.
I mean, is he that good of a kid? I don't know anything about him other than he was overpaid and underperformed. I mean,
he's pretty quiet. I don't know him that well personality-wise. It's just more about how he won my admiration last year. He's very scrappy.
He wasn't scrappy this year, though.
Last year. It's not his fault this year. I just don't feel like he was properly developed and the system wasn't set up to capitalize on his strengths.
Well, he got a big increase in pay and he didn't really earn it. Kind of capped out
totally his fault though? Is it? I mean, they're alleged grown-ups, really.
Well, I know.
I feel like
you are the quarterback. You are the quarterback. I mean, you are the team leader. I mean, I think it's not always somebody else's fault when you're the quarterback.
I would give him 25% responsibility for it, and 75% alleged grown-up, very well-paid people who could make more money than he did.
That's true. Wayne says you almost like him as much as Rick likes Trevor back at Clemson with his flowing locks. And it was always the flowing locks that did it for me with Trevor. No question.
You always praise that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody's asking in chat, well, Jen's getting a lot of reaction today. Well, of course she is. She's going to go see Holly. What's your thought on the new OC, new offensive coordinator?
I'm pretty psyched about him. I think.
Yeah, give it. What is it about him? Yeah, tell us about him a little bit.
Well, first off, it's a tough situation to hire someone when we're not having the best team right this second.
When your program's in the dumpster? Yeah, I get it.
So that it was a little challenging of a setting to hire somebody. So, I think we did pretty well for that. And I think he has been quoted publicly several times talking about the need to develop players and to create systems that work well around your personnel, which that seems obvious to me, but that's not what happened last year.
What number offensive coordinator is this for Shane Beamer? Like somebody's asking. Not even trolling. I don't even know.
I'm going to guess 4 or 5, maybe.
How many years has he been the head coach?
5.
A new OC every year? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, all right, hold on. Let me think that through.
I know you'll know the answer, so.
We'll have to think it through. Like the COVID time is weird for me. So it's all very blurry. I don't know if you're like that too, but I can't remember very well around that time.
The COVID time was very weird for everybody. Yes. Yeah.
Roper was one of them. Roper wasn't that great. Satterfield, Logan, Shula. So there's at least 4 there.
Wow.
Roper was affiliated with the Bears and came in through Connor Shaw and his connections with the Bears.
I find it hard to believe all those guys were just terrible coordinators, right? I mean, maybe they. I'm just saying the fish rots from the head. That's all I'm saying.
I know you're going to say that. I know
that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, that says more about your head coach. That says more about your head coach.
Look at the stats for all of them underneath Beamer, and the best performing of them was Loggins.
Kenny Loggins from the 70s and 80s,
Dow Loggins, who's now at State. So yeah, we've had some struggles there. That's fair.
So this is number 5. So 5 in 5 years. Woo.
Well, off my recollection, yes. I don't know if that's.
Well, how in the world can you have any stability? How can you have any stability when that's going on?
Well, the good news is Clayton White seems to be coming back because he was rumored for the Tennessee OC job, and they just announced somebody else for that. And then Coastal Carolina was interested in him for the head coaching job, and somebody else was hired for that. So it seems like he's coming back, and he has been consistent with it.
It wasn't surprising to see your cornerback going to the NFL, right? The cornerback that announced that he's going to go to the draft.
No, I'm losing you, I think. Kilgore?
Yeah. We're on a delay now. Let's see if she
Kilgore?
You love airport Wi-Fi.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. You're doing better than really I've ever done in the airport. No, you're fine. Yeah, Kilgore going in, that didn't surprise people, right? He's going to be a pretty high pick.
No. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a good thing for him. And, of course, all the fans are excited for him.
So what's the early returns on recruiting? What are you hearing? What do you got going on? Have you heard anything about what's the budget look like at South Carolina going into the portal coming up after the first of the year?
That's actually a really good question. I don't know the answer to that. I think that's been pretty under wraps. So I hope that I'll hear more about it soon, but I don't know the answer. Are you willing to donate to help?
Well, no. Yeah. I'm always going to support them for you,
I have money taken out of every paycheck for my donation to the NIL cause.
Do you really? Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What'd you think of the playoff? What'd you think of the selection of the playoff and 5 SEC teams?
Well, I had to giggle when I saw Notre Dame's reaction to it. But no, I think that's an appropriate amount of SEC teams. What do you think? Some people, of course, feel like we dominate everything and it's unfair. Do you have that viewpoint?
There's so much selfishness. Well, ESPN controls it all, and who's your business network partner? Disney. So they're always going to want that to be right. So, I can't argue. Alabama would be the one. People will tell you in one breath that they're one of the 12 best teams, but they had 3 losses, and they looked worse than BYU did in their title game. And then people are going to say, well, it's not the SEC. Okay, but, I don't know. Those of us that aren't.
I'm sorry, but Alabama's got such big market share. Of course, they're always going to get the edge.
They are. That's exactly why they and Miami got in. It's just common sense. Alabama gets more viewers than any other team in the country, and Miami's in the top 8 over the last couple of years, and that's what they're looking at. Let's just say it the way it is. That controls it. They're not, they're going to expand it again, I bet, next year. Oh, did we lose her for good? It looks like she is frozen for good. We have got her frozen for good. Let's see if she comes out of it. I think we lost Jen. But look at that. Look how we lost. Oh, wait a minute. Are you there? No, she's not there. I think we finally lost her. Hey, you know what, though? Kudos to her because, as you know, if you've tried it, airport Wi-Fi. Oh, hang on. There she is. Now she's back. There she is.
I'm so sorry. This is not good professional behavior.
No, you're doing, you know what? Like I said, we've gotten further along and I know how bad, everybody knows how bad airport Wi-Fi is. So you're fine. You're doing great. You're doing great. So.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to try to make it work and it's not ideal.
People saying, Jen, do you miss your Riverboat Ramblers days?
Wow, that's an old reference. Whoever asked that.
How about that?
I do. I used to gig with that band a lot. For those who don't know, it's Dixieland band, and I was with the Ramblers when I met you.
Was that who was over in Blacksburg when you came up to me? Really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they gigged a lot. We played pretty much every weekend.
People want saxophone performances, by the way, on future appearances, so we can work that out. Can we do that?
We can work that out. Yeah, I have to get a good mic set up for that to make sure it doesn't sound terrible.
Okay, all right, we'll do that. We'll do that then.
That's fun. Whoever asked that, thank you for a happy memory.
That was that 21YZ who asked you that. He's doing some Jen research. Now you're being called a Valley girl.
Is it New River Valley?
Hey, Morris is in the Palm Coast. You're going to be in Tampa. Hey, you two.
Come on, let's have a Manhattan.
What's the drive? I'm wondering. Yeah, it might be worth the drive for you there, Morris. We got Jen and Holly there in Tampa. So.
And I'm getting my hair done later today. So my hair is going to be looking good today.
Yeah.
Holly knows what's up.
That's right. Well, that's exciting. It's good stuff. What else by the way, congratulations. I believe you've won. Now, we don't include the bowl. We do the bowls together. but we don't do the bowls as part of our season. So you're going to be in our BDST, our ESPN Bowl Mania group. But congratulations. I believe I did not catch up with the championship weekend.
Thank you. That's very classy of you to point that out. I think I ended up 3 games up.
Yeah, I had to take some risks during championship.
You got a little reckless with it.
I got a little careless. Yeah, I did.
But and good news, I think I told you that I thought my fantasy football season had ended, but it turned out I'm fine and I'm in the playoffs. So
you rallied. Look at you.
Yeah, so I'm happy about that too.
Well, I mean, if your real football teams are god awful, like they are, your South Carolina Gamecocks, which is just a deplorable,
Washington.
Mm-hmm. You might as well have your other stuff working out. See there? See how you balance that things out. See how things balance out for me.
Just kind of worked out.
On one end, you're up, and then you're down. Now you're. Sorry, it's a Seinfeld reference. Sorry.
I sort of kind of remember it. I do like Seinfeld. I do sort of.
It's my favorite episode, The Opposite, where George is, and then everything evens out for Jerry, and he's all happy because he never changes. Yeah.
Well, I want to know, do I win a BDST? Had to think about that. T-shirt. What do I win? What do I get?
Oh, yeah. I can get you a T-shirt. Yeah, we can get you a T-shirt. What size you wear? I've got medium, large, extra, and 2X. We don't have the smalls in yet. Are you a small?
No, definitely not a small.
You're very tall. People don't realize that Jen's like 6'3".
This power forward body is not a small. It will never be a small. Probably a medium.
Dudes love power forward bodies. Come on, we don't want little.
Yeah. That's. I don't think I have ever worn a small.
A medium. Yeah. I'll do the yes. Since you won the yes, you'll get your T-shirt. How's that?
Thank you. That would be a great prize.
That'll be your T-shirt. Yeah. Even Steven. That's right, Paul. Even Steven. Well, listen, thanks for jumping on. We appreciate it. I know you went to great lengths to be with us and the peeps. That means a lot. So thank you.
I'm trying. I'm sorry it wasn't.
No, you don't need to apologize. It's great. No, it's great. You can't help airport Wi-Fi. You did great.
I'll be in Chicago next week when we talk, but I'll be able to be in my hotel room and have a better setup.
Yeah. You know, in Chicago, I've never had a problem. Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine there. You'll be fine. I think some of the biggest internet companies in the world reside in Chicago. You should be okay.
We'll be good to go.
All right. Be good. Stay safe, and tell Holly Rick says hey.
Oh, I will. I'll pass along your greetings. And thanks for having me on and dealing with all of this.
No, you were great. And make sure you send some pics and we can maybe share them next week when you're on.
Okay. Deal.
Right?
Sure.
All right. You know, come on. You got to go dictate your weekend. Keep a log and share it with us. At least what you can.
Maybe a few highlights.
A few highlights. Yeah, I got you. Well, stay safe on your next flight, and you guys have fun.
Thank you. Have a good weekend, darling.
All right. We'll see you in Chicago. Be good. There you go.
Bye.
Jen, the Gamecock girl from the airport in Charlotte. Good stuff. She did great. That was great. I didn't think it was going to work that well. Who is Holly? Well, I don't think I have the Jen Holly picture anymore. Jen, will you send the picture of you and Holly again? Jen. I got you. Thanks there, Michael. I got you, brother. He asked the Rambling Right. That's pretty good. You did your research there about the Ramblers. Yeah, we got pics. I don't think I have it, though. Not anymore. I used to. So now today, got to drive to Wise, pick up my son whose car died. And it's not the battery, and we're going to have to get somebody arranged to fix it while he's gone. But that's where I'm headed today. And then later, we have to do the abscess surgery on my Balboa Creed. Oh, look. Here's me and Aaron Andrews. Look at that. That's what I'll have to get it on here better, though. There's me and Aaron Andrews. Yeah. Look how skinny I was. That's when I was really good shape. Look at that. That was at Nebraska when me and Richie were there watching the Cornhuskers, watching Tyrod Taylor just riddle the Cornhuskers. And then we went to see the Broncos, the Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium. There's zero chance I'm going to find this picture of Jen and Holly. I'm trying, but I don't know where that would be. So anyway, we'll get her to send it again. Morris says, I can't imagine hanging with Jen. Probably be mind twisted for a month. Yeah. Who is Holly? Seems like, okay, I read that one. We're going to get picks, TLB. That would get subscribers over 1,000. Yeah, we had sideline picks, man. We were right there. She came on the show. We did the show. That was the radio show days, and she came on, did a couple segments. She was great. Yeah, Aaron Andrews was very, very nice. Very, very nice. Extremely nice. But I want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us today. Think about us. Not necessarily me on my drive bringing my son back, but those of you who've been following the Balboa issues, his abscess is just about there. So I'm going to have to probably get into that this evening. And so I'll keep everybody posted. Not going to be a pleasant experience, but it has to be done. BDST calendar. No, Wayne. Nobody. It'll be the least desired calendar ever. Thong pics of me. No. I do have a boxing picture of me that I found. It's all I have left. I've looked through. We had some old videotapes, and I looked everywhere before, when my mom passed, we went through the house, and I was trying to find some of that stuff, and I just couldn't locate it. I don't know if it got tossed. But there were some remember, speaking of VHS tapes, we had some VHS tapes of a few of my fights. Yeah. That would have been cool to get transferred over to disc or something and watch it. That'd have been cool. That would have been cool. But anyway, thanks for a great week. Thanks to Coach Elmassian for joining us today. Thanks to Will, Mike, and Jen. Great stuff. And thank you. You always make it fun. I hope everybody enjoys the weekend. We've got Army, Navy. Good luck to Glenver, as Richie said. And we'll start getting into the playoffs soon. If you haven't done it, go find in the ESPN Bowl Mania, Big Dog Sports Talk. Let's join it and let's have some fun. You guys are all eligible for whatever prizes we come up with. I'm going to be in there. Jen's going to be there. Some of other people. We're not eligible. We're just in there to kind of pick against you and one another. BIG, DAWG, Sports Talk, 4 words. If you just type it in to the Bowl Mania, join. It's free. Costs nothing. And we'll see how we do in the world of the bowl picks. I mean, the bowl season's kind of pointless, so it gives us something to at least be interested in following it, right? But thank you again for a great week, everybody. You always make it special. Stay safe. We'll see what kind of news breaks with James Franklin's staff, the Michigan mess, whatever else. Enjoy Army, Navy tomorrow. If you're around Dedmon on Sunday, come see us at the Dedmon Center, Radford and Coppin State at 2:30. Everybody stay safe. Thank you, TLB. Yeah, it's about a 2.5-hour drive. I think once I get down the road a little bit, I should come out of this weather a little bit. Just glad to get the boy back home. Everybody be good. Have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday.